of their GDP, criticizing the current 2% guideline as the quote-unquote the steal of the century. Trump's comments have fueled speculation that if he were to return to the White House, he might pressure South Korea to raise its financial contributions to the 28,500 U.S. troops stationed there. Speaking at the National Guard Association of the U.S. conference in Detroit, Michigan, he stated, quote, "I'll insist that every NATO nation must spend at least 3%. You have to go up to 3%. And he added, quote, 2% is the steal of the century, especially when we're the ones paying for it. It's just not believable, end quote. In local news, the Busan Global Hub City Pan-Citizen Promotion Council, led by the Busan Chamber of Commerce, will hold its launch ceremony today at the Busan City Hall Auditorium. The event will be attended by 700 people, including Mayor Park Kyung-jun. The council aims to accelerate Busan's development into a global hub city by fostering public consensus and uniting citizen support. Prominent figures from various sectors in Busan, including business, civil society, academia, and religion, are participating. The council will urge the National Assembly to pass the special law, launch a campaign to collect 1 million signatures, hold a large-scale citizen rally, and organize a citizen resolution meeting at the National Assembly. Air Busan has signed a partnership agreement with Bexco today to strengthen the competitiveness of Busan's tourism and MICE industries. As part of the agreement, Air Busan will offer special discounted airfare to Bexco's domestic and international customers. The two organizations will also collaborate on promoting the MICE industry and Busan tourism through their social media and other promotional channels. The long-awaited Hadan-Noksan subway line in western Busan has been allocated a total project budget of 1.4489 trillion won, with construction set to begin in 2026. Busan City announced that the project budget increased by 322.4 billion won from the initial 1.1265 trillion won, reflecting the inclusion of the Myeongji International New City underground section. The Hadan-Noksan line will extend the Saha-Hada line, currently under construction, connecting Hadan Station to Ulsukdo, Myeongji International New City, and the Noksan National Industrial Complex over a distance of 13.47 kilometers. In international news, the United Nations announced it has temporarily halted its aid operations in the Gaza Strip due to Israeli military evacuation orders in the central region of the Palestinian territory. A senior UN official informed reporters that humanitarian staff were unable to work on Monday local time due to safety concerns. And now taking a quick look at the weather here. It's currently 32 degrees Celsius in Busan City with the heat wave warning in effect. Light showers are expected to start from this evening with moments of heavy downpours until tomorrow morning. And that'll have to do it for this hour's news. Thank you for joining us. You're listening to BEFM, 부산영어방송.
Your best choice. BEFM, 부산영어방송.
Coming up next is 2 p.m. Reboot with Casey McKeever. BEFM, 부산영어방송.
It's never a bad idea to learn a second language, is it? You can use it while you're traveling in a new country or a different country to communicate with the locals so they can maybe help you find where you're looking for, or you can just feel cool. Or maybe, like me, you want to fit into the country you moved to where you're going to teach English to non-English speakers. Trust me, it works. I've done it twice. There are many ways to actually pick up a second language, some of which you may not have thought of. But there are also some reasons that you might not have considered for learning a second language as well. And today, we're going to talk about the benefits of learning a second language. It's Tuesday, August 27th. This is the 2 p.m. Reboot. Let's get it started. Welcome back to the 2 p.m. reboot. That was Back in Black by AC/DC. What a way to get the show started there, right? A lot of energy there. And if you've never heard that song before, I think you might be in the minority. That was the title track to AC/DC's most popular album. And the title track, Back in Black, was from the album Back in Black in 1980. Since that time, it's sold over 19 million copies just in the United States alone, which makes it the 6th highest ever. Worldwide, it's sold over 40 million copies. Not bad. Well done. And according to the magazine Metal Hammer, they said the song's riff is one of the greatest riffs ever, and wrote that there are rock songs that appeal to metal fans, and there are metal songs that appeal to rock fans. Then there's Back in Black, which is a rock and metal song that appeals to everybody, from dads to dudes to little old ladies beating noisy kids over the head with their sticks. Ouch. And it all hangs on that monumental, no-nonsense, 3-chord monster of a riff. But if you were watching me on the stream there, you maybe saw me air drumming. It's the drums that get me. So there you have it. Whatever reason you like that song, there's plenty to love there. We're coming to you live in the studio in Busan on this Tuesday afternoon. Thanks for joining us. You're listening to us here on BEFM 90.5 in Busan and 103.3 FM in the Gijang, Jeongwon, and Noksan areas. In Seoul, we're on TBS EFM 101.3 FM, and in Gwangju, we're on GGN 98.7 FM. And of course, we're on YouTube as well. If you want to join us there, you can just go to youtube.com and search BEFM or Busan영어방송. And I do want to let you know, you may have noticed when AC/DC was silent on the YouTube stream there, because of a music copyright issue, we can't actually stream the songs live on YouTube. So they're going to be muted when we play them here live on the air. And we apologize for the inconvenience. However, the songs and show will be completely uninterrupted on FM radio. And we do have a smartphone app you can download if you go to the App Store on your phone. And doesn't matter which phone, doesn't matter which App Store, you can just search BEFM or 부산영어방송. Download that, and you can listen to the show completely uninterrupted wherever you go. And you can also message us and say good afternoon, for example. Feel free. We've got a lot coming up on the show today. We've got in hour number 1, hot off the press, and we'll introduce 2 new songs that have recently been released, and we'll give you some background information about the artists and the songs. And also, because today is Tuesday, we've got Melissa coming in for Officially Amazing, and that's always a good time. We usually talk about things that are pretty amazing, whether they be people or events or things going on. You'll see. In hour number 2, we've got our daily list. As I kind of previewed for you in the beginning of the show, we're going to talk about the benefits of learning a second language. There's a whole lot, and it might not be ones that you think of, and things you might actually really benefit from in your personal life in other ways as well. Also, because today is Tuesday, we've got Tomorrow Today on Tuesday. Every Tuesday, we share stories about advancements in various fields of technology just to kind of get a glimpse into what the future holds. And today, we're looking at language. And one big company that hosts a rather large search engine, a very popular one, has decided to translate 110 new languages to add into their translation service. And there's a whole lot of reasons they're doing that, and there are a whole lot of benefits that will come from that as well. And then at the end of the show, we'll have our perfect playlist. We do this every day. We have a theme for you every week. And this week's theme is songs about new beginnings. And we'll have some songs for you on that theme as well. And I'll be checking your messages throughout the show. So if you want to reach me here, you can message us at 샵9050 or pound 9050 for 101. You can send us a message for free. If you use the KakaoTalk app, just search BEFM or 부산영어방송, and then you can add us and send us a message that way. And as I mentioned before, we have a smartphone app you can download as well in the App Store on your phone. Just search BEFM or 부산영어방송. And of course, you can message us on YouTube as well. And you could say anything you want. You could say good afternoon, for example. Good afternoon to you. You could tell me how everything's going for you today on this Tuesday. Or you can also answer today's question of the day. What language would you choose if you had the superpower to suddenly be good at one language? 만약 하나의 언어를 잘 할 수 있는 this is hard. 초능력이 생기다면 어떤 언어를 선택하실 건가요? All right, I'm going to try that again because this is my second language. Here we go. 만약 하나의 언어를 잘 할 수 있는 초능력이 생기다면 어떤 언어를 선택하실 건가요? Man, I'm going to have to practice that one a little bit more for you. Okay. See, sometimes learning a second language takes a lot more effort than you think. But yeah, you can send me whatever language you would like to learn if you suddenly had the ability to think Matrix-like. Maybe you could just download it into your brain and you can suddenly speak that language. Right now, I'm wishing Korean. For various obvious reasons, I wish I could speak Korean suddenly perfectly. But if I had to put up a second language, I learned a little bit of Romanian already. That's on my t-shirt here, you can see. I learned a little bit of Russian already. Russian was really hard. I think I would like to really learn Spanish. I think I'm going to go with Spanish because that's one I completely failed at through most of my education, and I would like to give it another shot, especially if it required no effort. Like suddenly, boom, I could speak Spanish. That would be wonderful. Do you have another answer you'd like to share? Let me know. And I do want to let you know as well that there still is a heat wave warning in effect in most parts of the country here. So try to avoid outdoor activities as much as possible. If you do go out, wear light clothing, wear a wide-brimmed hat, and carry a water bottle with you. If you're at construction sites, strictly adhere to heat safety rules. Make sure to get enough water, shade, rest, and actively implement heat wave break times during the hottest hours of the day. To be thoroughly prepared for the heat wave, make sure to drink enough water and take short breaks whenever possible. And if you have symptoms such as dizziness, nausea, or a headache, find a cool place to take a rest. And see, even English, even your native language, you might have to practice every now and then, see? You know how that goes, right? All right, we're going to take a quick song break. We're going to listen to Fast Car by Tracy Chapman, and then we'll be back with Hot Off the Press. You're listening to the 2 p.m. Reboot, and that song was Fast Car by Tracy Chapman, another song with a very catchy guitar line on the show today. But now it is time for Hot Off the Press. We do this every Monday through Friday. We bring you two of the newest, hottest tracks that have recently been released from around the world of music. And we know there's so much to keep up with. We try to pick really interesting songs that we know you're going to love every day. And today is no exception. Our first song today is Forever and a Day by Gabe Watkins. Gabe Watkins is an Australian Thai indie pop solo artist based in Bangkok, Thailand. His love for indie pop and alternative music was formed at an early age and continued into adulthood as he began writing and releasing his own music. He takes inspiration from Mac Miller, John Mayer, Fleetwood Mac, Phoebe Bridgers, and everyone in between, and that's a wide variety already. His style has a cutting, distinctive tone which immediately grabs your attention, and he fuses the warmth of the alternative music he grew up listening with to a mellow, upbeat, yet intimate sound. Our second song today is Good Horses by Lainey Wilson, featuring Miranda Lambert. And these two country musicians, Lainey Wilson and Miranda Lambert, have released this new duet called Good Horses, but it might not be what fans of either artist were expecting. Both have kind of been pretty rowdy lately, but this acoustic ballad is much more sensitive. You'll find Good Horses on the track list of Whirlwind, the new studio album that Wilson was released on last Friday, actually. And lyrically, it's kind of about a new kind of love song, one that finds each woman asking her man for a little space if he wants the romance to go the distance. So our two songs for today on Hot Off the Press. First up, Forever and a Day by Gabe Watkins, followed by Good Horses by Lainey Wilson featuring Miranda Lambert. Well, you know what that music means. It means Melissa's in the studio here for Officially Amazing. And
Yes,
it's good to see you again.
It is good to see you every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
Because we're Tuesday people.
That's right.
Yes.
2 for Tuesday.
2 for Tuesday.
Yeah.
But
American radio fans, you know what that is.
this is a little bit of a depressing Tuesday.
Oh, no.
Because it's the last
Don't do that to me.
Tuesday before everybody goes back to school. I mean, I realize
yeah, right.
some high
Next week,
school
right?
students have probably already been going to school.
Sorry,
right?
guys.
But yeah, it reminds me.
Thanks for the reminder.
There was an advertisement on TV here in Korea. I have no idea what the product was they were selling, but it was the best ad ever because it was like this mother going into her daughter's room, and the
Without
mother
knocking?
well, it's not important to the story.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mother goes into the daughter's room and is like, come on, it's time for school. And you can't see the daughter because she's buried under the covers. And
Right.
she's like, I don't want to go. And she's like, no, you have to go to school. And the daughter, I don't want to go. And then the mother says, but you're the teacher.
Oh.
And I just thought it was so hilarious because it's not just kids going back to school, it's parents who have to get used to back to school, it's
Right.
teachers who have to get used to back to school. And so this is like the last week of freedom for
Yeah.
all the kids, parents, teachers. So little sad, but maybe exciting also because
Sure.
at least for students they get to see their friends.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they're probably ready to get out of the house with mom and dad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I know there are many students out there who are very excited when they find out who their teacher will be.
Ah, right.
And they're really happy about that. So hopefully, fingers crossed, good school year starting.
Yeah, I'm excited now too. I can't wait to find out who I'm teaching.
Oh, yeah.
Are you excited?
It's not like it's bad. Like the thing that's worst for me is waking up early.
Right.
Like I don't mind anything else. You know, I love meeting new people. I love hearing new stories. I love seeing, as Oprah says, the aha moment, like the light bulb moment. I love that. But waking up at 5, 6 o'clock.
Is that when you get up?
A little uncomfortable.
You get up at as early as 5?
Not if I have to.
Okay. Only
Yes.
when you have to.
Only if I absolutely have to.
If you got some kind of mechanism that pushes you out of bed at 5 o'clock, like automatically timed.
If I have to wake up at 5, I feel like death all day.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
but
you kill.
usually it's like it's like 6:30, but still it's like, we're night owls. We've talked about this
Yeah.
so many times.
Yep.
Yeah. But anyway, speaking of back to school,
Is that what we're going to talk about today?
not directly.
Oh, okay.
For most students, what's very important to them is music.
Ah.
Right? Especially when you get into the older grades of elementary school, when you
Sure.
get into middle school, music is life.
Yeah,
Right?
totally. Yeah, especially middle school. It seems like
Yeah.
right about that time I was like I need something to look forward to.
Right? And
Right.
in middle school also, I feel like you listen to a song 2 times, you've memorized all the lyrics.
It's weird that way, right?
Yeah, but now, as an adult, I've heard this song 587 times and I know 3 words.
Right.
Right? But
How does it go again?
exactly. And so I know you love talking about music,
I do.
but you are not so well versed in K-pop.
Wait a minute. Yes, you're right. 100%. I have
right?
no idea.
So today I'm going to attempt to change that by giving you K-pop news and updates that are making headlines worldwide.
Oh, sweet. I combined 2 words there.
Yeah,
Great
K-pop
and sweet.
plus sweet. Queet. Yeah.
Queet.
So let's start with one that's a little bit time sensitive.
Okay.
Okay. So if you've ever dreamed of seeing the outfits worn on stage
Oh, yeah.
or in music videos by your favorite hype performers like BTS, 17, Tomorrow by Together, and Lee Seraphim, now is your chance.
My dreams.
Yay! Until September 15th, the Grammy Museum in Los Angeles.
Not too far.
Too far. Well, hey, make the trip. It has a special exhibit called We Believe in Music.
Okay.
I looked it up. It's just $20 for the special exhibit if you buy admission into the regular museum.
Which is $50. I don't know.
But the regular museum, again, this is the Grammy Museum, it has sections currently dedicated to hip-hop, red carpet Grammy events, and Michael Jackson. And remember, we do have Chuseok coming up, the Thanksgiving holiday. So,
This could be perfect timing?
Yes, it could be perfect timing if you want to travel, you love these performers, BTS 17, you could go to this museum.
I'm thinking about it right now. I'm thinking hard, but we're here in Korea, right? So I know
Yes.
this is going on in LA. That's pretty much halfway around the world. You got to get to LA if you want to see the fashion featured in some of these stars' music videos, right? But what if the fashion's not your thing? What if you actually just want to see the concerts?
Yes. So, the concerts this past summer, there were a lot of them that actually kind of broke records and were firsts. So,
Really?
big summer for K-pop. American Music Festival, Lollapalooza.
No, say it ain't so.
Yes,
Oh
in
my God, are you
Chicago,
kidding me?
Lollapalooza. Stray Kids, they said they decided to headline the festival again this year.
They headlined.
They headlined
Again.
because of their fans. And so usually most K-pop artists, including Stray Kids, they do 3-hour performances.
Really?
Yes, that's comparable to Taylor Swift,
That's
right?
Like, that's like
the
Bruce
Eras
Springsteen
tours.
from my era.
Yes, right. But at Lollapalooza, they have just 1 hour to impress the crowd. So their strategy...
Only an hour. That's long enough.
Yes. But their strategy, because again, they're used to 3 hours, they have only 1 hour.
Right.
For them, it's only.
We have to cut it down, guys.
Yep. So they put their biggest hits first. And in this case, it was S-Class.
S-Class is their biggest hit?
Yes.
I knew that. I was testing you.
Okay.
I knew that. So,
Yes.
all right. You know what? I'm very familiar with Lollapalooza because that was basically started when I was in middle school or high school.
Okay.
So, in my mind, it's a very different picture of what kind of people attend that, right? So, what kind of people went to Lollapalooza to see the Stray Kids? Was it like the typical alternative crowd, or
Right. So you hit the nail on the head. It was actually a very diverse crowd because you expect like a lot of teenage fans
Yes.
for Stray Kids. And then you said Lollapalooza fans kind of different.
Yeah.
But for example, people who were interviewed there were 2 adult sisters who went together.
Right.
And then others were middle-aged parents who, sure, their teen kids introduced them to K-pop, but they discovered they liked it. And they
Really?
just went on their own.
Without the kids?
Without the kids.
Genius.
Yeah, so it was a really diverse crowd. Fans were not disappointed. So because of all the technically difficult choreography, because Stray Kids, like most K-pop bands, they do a lot of dancing
Surprise.
as they sing,
Right.
but their vocals didn't suffer.
Right. Well,
Right.
a lot of acts do have that issue when they're moving so much. Because think about how hard that is.
Yes,
to
you
move like
start to have that
that. Right.
But they did not. And Stray Kids themselves, they said they were a mix of nervous and excited, but they only came across as confident on stage, which people really, really appreciated that they looked really cool, confident. So probably new Stray Kids fans in Chicago. After that. Yes.
Chicago. I can't do it. I don't know. Sausage. People like sausage in Chicago. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, very
So,
cool.
Yeah,
So
very,
you said
very good for Stray Kids.
Yeah, obviously very good for them because they only had to perform 1 hour instead of 3. So they got a little bit of a break, actually, and they obviously impressed people. So they said, that you said actually, that they were actually headlining Lollapalooza again. Mm-hmm. So they've been in the U.S. for a while then, I'm assuming.
Yes. So Lollapalooza also had Stray Kids headlining in 2023.
Quick math. Last year.
And also, this past May, Stray Kids attended the very prestigious Met Gala.
Ooh, that divisive gathering.
Yes, yes.
People get upset about what people wear there.
Absolutely. And this was kind of no exception.
Right.
But that actually was a record-breaking event because Stray Kids became the first full K-pop group to attend the Met Gala together.
So the Met Gala went full K-pop.
Yes,
Very
because
good.
in the past, we have had other members of K-pop attend. So
Right.
Jennie
just not
from
as a whole group.
Blackpink,
I
and
see.
CL from 21, but not the whole group. But they
Right.
were the first whole group to go. And not only that, Stray Kids, their song Slash was part of the newest Deadpool movie soundtrack released last month.
Yeah, that was all over the U.S. when I was in the U.S. The Deadpool movie everywhere, like advertisements. It was like that's the big thing. So if they're part of that, they're on the gravy train.
Yes,
They're definitely on the gravy train.
absolutely. Yes. So they are huge. They're probably going to be around the top of the charts for a while. And since I'm not totally confident that you know a lot of Stray Kids songs,
How dare you?
I wanted to play you a little bit of Stray Kids.
Oh, you brought a Stray Kids song for us?
Yes.
Is it going to be S-Class? Slash?
No, this is Chick Chick Boom by Stray Kids.
Welcome back to the 2 p.m. reboot, and that song was Chick Chick Boom by Stray Kids. I'll be honest, that was the first time I had ever heard
See?
that song.
You try to give me lip about like, I know. Oh, no, actually, I don't, which is fine. That's why I brought this topic for you, because
I'm
we're
officially
educating
amazing.
you. Yes.
It's amazing how little I know. That is the point of the show.
Which is
the
okay,
segment.
because, I mean, in your defense,
Yeah.
your family is not of this age
Right.
where they would be so immersed in music.
Thank you for the
So,
defense.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But there is really
as
no
we get
excuse.
older, like naturally, it's kind of easy to not keep up because
It's
there's
true.
so many things to keep up with.
It's true. Like, we do Hot Off the Press here every day on the show, and there's like so many acts and singers and bands I just like never heard of before. I'm like, wow, it's amazing like how much new stuff comes out all the time.
Yes.
All the time. So thank you, Not
Absolutely.
PD, for keeping us on track with that. But of course, we're back here with Officially Amazing with Melissa, and we talked about the Stray Kids. You just heard their song Chick Chick Boom, and that's going to be stuck in my head for a while. And I was also imagining their performance at Lollapalooza, because in my mind, Lollapalooza is like Jane's Addiction, Smashing Pumpkins. Who else did I remember being like?
A bit more
Ministry.
alternative,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like
But
it's not
Stray
what you
Kids
expect.
typically is a little bit darker.
They got an edge?
harder, edgier. yes, than other groups.
I gotcha.
But elsewhere in the world, we did have K-pop also
Yeah, it's
coming
everywhere,
to
right?
festivals. Absolutely. So 17 was the first K-pop group to perform on the main stage at Glastonbury Festival
Oh my
in
goodness.
the UK, right?
Yeah.
So initially, kind of mirroring a little bit what we saw at Lollapalooza maybe, British concert goers seemed hesitant to accept. It's a 13-member boy group.
We were talking about it during the song break there. I think this is the group I saw that advertised on TV while I was in the U.S. And yeah, it's like 13 guys. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so many people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's probably 17. Yes, it was them because I was like, why is it not 17 people?
Okay, this is a good question.
'Cause my
I
math
have
is not
no
good.
answer.
But,
Yes, I
but
don't
seems
have
like
an
13
answer.
17 is different. Okay.
Yes, but they used those numbers to their advantage to
Right.
get the crowd on board because they do have 13 members. They were able to split into groups. They took up the entire stage with the different kind of
Right.
micro groups,
Right.
and they actually went into the crowd
Cool.
to get people excited
Right.
and riled up. And so, yeah, as the concert went on, more and more people, they were gathered around the main stage, which is called the Pyramid Stage. So many concert goers, they said, I've gone to Glastonbury for years. I never once wanted to see the headlining act on the Pyramid Stage until 17.
Really?
Yes.
So people did warm up to them then.
They did. They said it was unexpected
Right.
and it's needed. They wanted something different.
Okay.
And so people said Glastonbury was actually really behind because there was BTS at Wembley Stadium, there was Blackpink at London's BST Festival. So, yeah, it was a mix of people who attended this festival. Some were already 17 fans, and yeah, others they wanted
They became
something
converts.
new. Yes, they became 17 converts. Absolutely.
Wow. Well, very
Yes.
cool. I mean, good for them because, Glastonbury, I have seen some famous acts, on video. I've never attended the festival in person, but I've seen some really big name acts just bomb in Glastonbury because
tough crowd.
It seems like, they want to be impressed. And it is like a huge crowd. I don't know if have you seen the video of them performing?
I have
It's
seen
just
the
like
videos.
a sea of people.
Yes.
Right? It's a huge event.
So I think, too, part of why they were so successful is, again, that set list. They also do 3-hour shows. They cut it down to 1
Cut out
hour.
the fat.
And they opened with one of the members, Uzi. He was... So his name, Uzi, I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce it in
That
Korean.
made me woozy.
But they did have a live band
Right.
for this. And he opened their show, their entire set, he opened just by playing on the keyboard himself.
Oh.
Which I think that gets you some kind of street cred, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that was
So-
well planned.
Yes. So that was really smart of him to do
So
that.
so they're doing something different than what people expected too, because people probably just expected, it's K-pop, they're just going to dance.
Mm-hmm.
So having a live band, having a solo performance, that's different.
Yes.
Did they do anything else different?
Well, something that they are doing different just in general, not specifically at this festival, is using AI.
Uh-oh.
So again, one of their members,
Oh,
they
no.
said he started experimenting with it. And this has 17 fans concerned.
It has me concerned.
Because they're
scared.
basically worried, can we relate to the real lyrics? Does
Hmm.
it feel authentic? And basically, AI-generated lyrics are not good enough for top performers right now. It's because AI is not innovative.
Right.
It kind of regurgitates what's
Right.
already out there.
Kind of scrapes from what's existing on the internet usually, right?
Yes, yes.
I can see that. But also
so-
some of my favorite songs, the lyrics are just terrible. I like, so, and a human wrote those.
Right.
You never know.
It depends. It depends. Also, people are using this in music videos. So
Yeah.
aespa used AI-generated images in the Supernova
Right.
video. And fans, again, they didn't really like it. They said it kind of took away some of the group's charm. So I think if fans can notice, and importantly, if fans don't like it, then top artists might be cautious about it.
Right.
But 17 famously said, and I love this, they said, we practice making songs with AI because we want to develop along with technology rather than complain about it.
Oh.
Which is a really good point. Like,
Young
keep up
people.
with the times.
Young people style.
Instead of, sitting
Right.
back and
I don't
complaining
like that. I don't trust
about
that.
it.
Right.
Yeah, and this is one area where K-pop and just Korean music industry in general is really far ahead of what they're doing in the U.S. with,
Or anywhere, probably, right?
Yeah, probably, yes.
Because a lot of like creative artists are really concerned about AI taking their jobs, basically. So a lot of people are like very quick to distance themselves from AI or anything associated with AI. So kind of embracing it, yeah, it's an interesting technique. And, they still have the final say in what comes out of it.
Absolutely.
So it could be just a way to kind of bounce ideas off of technology, much like we do with each other.
Yes, and
Right?
it's like what we talked about several weeks ago, how the melodies have gotten simpler over time,
Right.
but there are more notes thanks to technology.
Right.
So, I mean, it's interesting to see how K-pop will decide to use AI and ultimately what will change.
Right.
The melody has already changed in music, as we talked about weeks ago.
Right.
What will be the next thing to change? Maybe not lyrics, probably not lyrics, I would guess.
Yeah, there's only so far you could go with that, I think, right?
Yes, but, we might have more interesting, I don't know, beats, melodies, something.
And perhaps, like K-pop is already kind of, I think, fairly well known for mixing Korean and English a lot. Mm-hmm. I wonder if that would lead to maybe mixing other languages, not just those two.
A
right?
rainbow of languages in one
Why not?
song. It could be very interesting.
There you go. AI. So actually, now I'm kind of warming up to 17 and AI. Or am I being programmed? Is that what's going on here? So was there any particular reason that, the fans don't like it besides the fact that they just feel like maybe it wasn't authentic, or what was their main complaint?
The main complaint was it's not authentic, it's not relatable, and then the group seems less charming, less relatable. Right. If for example, if we think about Taylor Swift on her huge Eras tour,
Right.
people love her for her lyrics. They know she wrote it and they
Yes.
can understand and relate to what she wrote. And also groups like 17, they specifically have members who do nothing but write those lyrics,
Oh,
while
really?
others are assigned as choreography. That is their job, to make
Out of the
choreography.
13?
Out of those 13, they each have their different roles.
Oh, that's cool.
So people know, this smaller group of members of 17, they write the lyrics, so I love the
yeah.
lyrics. It makes them more lovable, right?
Right.
This connection.
And I bet they probably really enjoyed trying to figure out who wrote the specific lyrics of a section or of a song or the entire song, perhaps. That gives you that element of like wanting to be connected to somebody as well. I could see why
Absolutely.
they'd be a little bit bummed about AI interfering with that. But interesting, of course, we're going to see with everything that happens with K-pop, obviously, because you are my K-pop tutor. Thank you, Melissa.
Happy to inform you in the K-pop world.
I've got a guess. Are you going to finish today's segment with a 17 song?
Absolutely. This is one of their biggest hits. This is also what drew people in at Glastonbury. This is 17 song Maestro.
All right. We're going to listen to that song, and then we'll be back at 3 p.m.
부산영어방송.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전 기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
여름의 끝을 잡고 안녕하세요. 어스터 잉글스의 김조한입니다. 이번 여름 많이 더우시죠? 그래서 여러분들을 위한 여름밤 토크 콘서트 준비했습니다. 민수, what do we have?
Yes, 한이형. This August 31st at 7 p.m. All-Star English가 영도 피아크에 여러분들을 찾아갑니다. 물론 에이샤도 함께요.
야, 저를 빼먹으시면 안 되죠. 선물이 팡팡 터지는 영어 퀴즈 시간부터 청취자 여러분들의 영어 고민도 함께 들어봅니다. 지금 올스타 홈페이지에 가셔서 여러분들의 영어 고민 적어주세요. 추첨을 통해 선물도 드립니다.
에이씨야! 나를 빼먹으면 어떡해요!
아, 맞다! 북이!
아이 참! 그리고 무더운 여름밤에 더위를 날려줄 특별 게스트 래퍼 윤비의 힙합 공연과 가수 김조한의 미니 콘서트도 기대해주세요!
오는 8월 31일 토요일 저녁 7시 피아크에서 만나요.
끼룩!
The time is now 3 o'clock.
Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot. You just heard the song Hungry Eyes by Eric Carmen to kick off the second hour of the show. And if you've not heard that song before, maybe you actually did and you didn't realize it. I just had that moment myself. I was like, I know this song from somewhere. It's one of those songs that kind of pops up in like basically an hour into a lot of movies, especially the romantic comedy variety. Right about the time you're starting to get tired of the dialogue. In the movie Dirty Dancing, the song Hungry Eyes provided the soundtrack to Jennifer Grey's undercover dance lessons with Patrick Swayze. So I've definitely heard this song before. The song was not only a key piece of the movie Dirty Dancing, but it helped the soundtrack to sell over 40 million copies worldwide. That's pretty successful. And Eric Carmen is actually best known as one of the founding members of the band The Raspberries, and probably their biggest hit is the song Go All the Way. Very different from Hungry Eyes, for sure. He was also the writer of All by Myself, Almost Paradise, which was performed by Ann Wilson and Mike Reno. And this is one of the few songs Eric recorded that he did not write. He was asked to do it by his old Raspberries producer, Jimmy Einer, who was the musical director for Dirty Dancing. So sometimes old friends pay off, right? It's good to have networks, I guess. That's the key lesson there. We're coming to you live in the studio in Busan on this Tuesday afternoon. Welcome to the program, and thanks for listening to us. You're hearing us on BEFM 90.5 here in Busan, and 103.3 FM in the Gijang, Jeongwan, and Noksan areas. In Seoul, we're on TBS EFM 101.3 FM, and in Gwangju, we're on GGN 98.7 FM. And thank you for joining wherever you might be today. We appreciate it. If you're joining us on YouTube as well, thanks so much for that. We've got a lot coming up in hour number 2 for you. Coming up soon, we've got our daily list, and we're going to go over the benefits of learning a second language, because there are many, and you might be convinced that, yes, time has come to take the plunge, learn a second language, if you haven't already. And also today, because it's Tuesday, we're going to get into Tomorrow Today. We do this every Tuesday. We look at things that are going on in the world of tech or the future. We're just kind of getting a glimpse into what might be coming up. And language is one of those things, I guess, with the advent of AI kind of just going crazy, right? AI is everywhere now, right? So language is one of those things that will definitely be influenced by that. And one big company has added 110 new languages to their translation service, and that will definitely have a big impact, I think, for sure. And also today we'll have our perfect playlist at the end of the show. Our theme this week is songs about new beginnings, so we'll have some songs on that theme for you as well to close out the show. And I will be checking your messages throughout the show. My question of the day today, I'm sorry I wasn't able to get to the messages earlier. What language would you choose if you suddenly had the superpower to be good at one language? 만약 하나의 언어를 잘 할 수 있는 초능력이 생긴다면 어떤 언어를 선택하실 건가요? Okay, I did that very carefully this time because this is my second language, right? So I wanted to not make any mistakes this time. So I offered up Spanish as my choice. But one of the listeners, Jogumtongnim, spotted my Romanian shirt on the NoTube streaming there and asks, Hai Norok. That's what it says on my shirt. Hai Norok. What does that, can you pronounce it and what does it mean? All right, I'll pronounce it again. Hai Norok. Norok. It's N-O-R-O-C, and this is Romanian. And it means, when somebody says Hai Norok, usually it means it's time to drink. It means basically cheers. But it could be a greeting as well. You could just greet somebody with Norok. It's kind of like saying hey, what's up? It kind of means luck. It's luck, good fortune, kind of that idea. But it's a common greeting, especially in the Republic of Moldova. You definitely see like some dudes get together. Hey, Norok. Norok. Yeah, cool. So if you hear it, it might be time to drink or somebody might just be saying hi. So yes, this is a language I have learned in the past, Romanian. I still fairly so-so speak it well. Depends on the day. But thank you for the question. Jogumtong Nim also adding that Polish would be the language because Jogumtong says, I like so many things about Poland during my last 2 trips. I think that's a key to wanting to learn any language. If you like the place where it originates from or you imagine yourself going there, well, of course, that's a great reason to learn a language. Another reason you might learn a language is, of course, work. And Lee Nim saying, Lee Nim apparently worked at a multinational company. And because it's multinational, there were many Swiss people there. So I guess this was in Switzerland. So Lee Nim learned a lot of Swiss German as a second language. He's never learned German, but heard there are many differences. Lee Nim says, I wasn't good at English, but Swiss German was added and completed the mixed up language. So I guess between kind of having a German-ish background, perhaps a little bit, and then English and then throwing Swiss German into the mix, it just kind of, it's a melting pot of languages there. I can imagine that gets a little confusing because those three languages, I imagine there are some similarities, maybe vocabulary, maybe grammar as well. English is kind of a Germanic-based language, so there might be some grammar similarities as well, but different enough to where it just gets confusing and like, what language are we using right now? Yes, that is the thing for sure. And I had that at my house over the summer. We had some Romanian speakers at my house, and I was alternately speaking Romanian, a little bit of Russian, a little bit of Korean, and English at any given time. And yes, it gets a little confusing, but really cool. And there are some benefits to that, which we'll get into in the daily list today. So if you'd like to share your answer for which language you'd like to choose, if you could suddenly be perfect at a language with practically no effort required, what language would it be? You can reach us here at Shop Gugong Ogong or pound 9050 for 101. See, that was I just code switched on you. This is called code switching. I said Shop Gugong Ogong and then pound 9050. This is something people do when they speak multiple languages. Very cool, right? You ready for another one? You can reach us for free at KakaoTalk if you search BEFM 아니면 부산영어방송, and you can add us and send us messages for free that way. And as I have mentioned before in the show, we have our very own smartphone app. If you go to the App Store on your phone, you can just search BEFM or 부산영어방송, and you can download the app and listen to the show wherever you go. Take us with you. Take me for a walk today if you want. And you can also log in and leave us some comments that way. And you can comment on YouTube as well. I'll be happy to check your messages however you send them, because I always like to know what people are up to out there. So thank you very much for sending your messages. We're going to take a quick song break. We're going to listen to Move Your Feet by Junior Senior, and then we'll be back with today's daily list. Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot. You just heard the song Move Your Feet by Junior Senior. And now it is time for our daily list. We're going to get into the benefits of learning a second language today. And there are a lot of them. And they are things I'm kind of excited about because I've learned a second language for a large part of my life. And it makes me feel like, oh, I've had some benefits I didn't even realize. One of them, and probably the most important one, is that it stimulates your brain. Learning a new language actually helps your gray matter grow. The brain matter, the gray matter, it actually helps it expand. Is that cool? That's pretty cool, I think, right? So acquiring a new language means that where you're going to learn a whole new set of rules about grammar and vocabulary, and some people really hate that part. I actually rather enjoy it. But the good part about that is your brain is trying to keep up with this new language's complexities, trying to learn the new patterns. At the same time, all these new developments are happening in your brain. And like any other muscle, the brain gets stronger and bigger the more you put it to use. So I can feel this is exactly what happened to my hair. I just popped it all out with all my language learning. Nothing challenges the brain like learning a language. Scientists have actually established that we use the left side of the brain when speaking our native language. But when you use a second language, it's actually not limited to one specific side, left or right. It actually uses both of them and increases the size of the white and gray matter of the brain. Not bad, right? And that's not all. When you acquire a new language, it also helps stave off cognitive decline and mental aging. According to recent research, multilingual adults experience the first signs of Alzheimer's and dementia at a later age compared to monolinguals, which means people who only speak one language. They also researched other variables like health, economic status, educational level, and gender, but none of them contributed as much as the number of languages that the person spoke. So in other words, the more languages you speak, the better for your brain. I might have to add some more in my list here. Very cool. Number 2, I think this is also really beneficial and something I need help with, so I perhaps need to learn another language. It improves your attention span. I think we all have this issue. They say the human attention span this seems to be narrowing daily. With all the technology we're constantly exposed to, a lot of that through our phones as well. According to a lot of studies, deciding to learn a new language may be the antidote to the narrowing human attention span. They say recent studies have shown the average attention span of a person has reduced from 12 to 8 seconds. I've even heard lower than that. Researchers suggest that learning a new language helps the brain maintain focus and block distractions. Why? What I was talking about earlier, code switching. This is a result of regularly switching between languages. When bilinguals or multilinguals speak, they're constantly switching between 2 or more languages in their head. And this is kind of like juggling, right? And it improves the brain's ability to concentrate on one thing while ignoring other irrelevant information. Whoa, fascinating. According to one study, the need to constantly control 2 languages confers advantages in the executive system, which I assume is part of your brain, not the branch of government. The system that directs cognitive processing is the executive system. These effects have been demonstrated primarily using visual stimuli and are heightened in children and older adults. I'm neither, I think. Specifically, bilinguals, relative to monolinguals, are better able to monitor conflicting sensory information and tune into a relevant stimulus or stimulus features amid irrelevant information. I think I filtered out what they just said there. But this is basically a process called inhibitory control. In other words, you're good at filtering things out that you don't need. Cool. I think that's really advantageous in this society where we're constantly being overly bombarded with information and sensory information and input, right? Number 3, another benefit, more career options to choose from. That's never a bad thing, right? We're living in a multicultural world. That's true. Globalization has made that, we can't reverse that. Many companies are opening offices overseas to extend their market. So there's a greater need for bilingual candidates, right? Multilingual candidates. If you acquire a foreign language, you will double the number of available jobs for you and climb the career ladder much faster. I want to look into that. In the highly competitive job market, employers are looking to hire someone who stands out from the rest. If you know a foreign language, that might help you. You could definitely stand out, and you might be chosen among many other job applicants. If you have a foreign language listed in your CV, it might actually be what a potential employer is looking for, especially if they're looking to expand into a specific area of the world, right? Also, nowadays, people who are proficient in more than one language are high in demand on the job market in all sectors and industries because employers consider them to be better communicators and problem solvers. These are some of the skills that you have to master by acquiring a second language. So it kind of speaks for you as a job applicant as well. Like, oh, if you can speak another language, that means you're probably a good learner as well, right? Number 4, learning another language boosts your creativity. If knowing a foreign language isn't beneficial only to the brain, it also influences your level of creativity. So as a person starts to learn a language, they get familiar with the culture of the place where that language is spoken. Ideally, I think it depends on what language, but the more you learn about new cultures, the more you look at the world around you from different perspectives. I see. The change of views will make you more original, more elaborate, and more flexible. I agree with that. All qualities of being a creative person. Yes, you have to learn how to be flexible because you're going to make mistakes in learning a new language, and you have to adapt when people don't understand what you're talking about, for sure. In addition, learning a new language forces your brain to put words together in creative ways, which happens a lot when people translate from one language to another. That stimulates your brain and boosts your creativity as well. And this creativity can actually spill over into other aspects of your life too. Plus, experts say that being creative improves your well-being. And yeah, I like that as well. Well-being plus creative, come on, bonus. Number 5, learning a second language actually improves your first language. And some people might not think that's the case, but there is some evidence of this. Basically, the reason is when you learn your mother language, it's all intuitive. There's without formal education in most cases, right? But if you're basically when you're young, you kind of pick up what you hear, right? So it's done in a very kind of slow, quote unquote, natural way. When you learn another language, you often learn grammar, vocabulary, idioms, sentence structure right off the bat. It's kind of the opposite way. So as you learn more about your second language, you become more conscious of what you know in your first language. So perhaps when people ask you before, can you explain this grammar in your language? Get this question all the time. And I'm like, I don't know. We just say that. By learning a second language, you can kind of identify rules and language structure in your first language as well. And you can kind of put names to things that you didn't know how to identify before. Furthermore, you become aware of the differences in structure, vocabulary, grammar, idioms, and sentence structure between those two particular languages. And all of these factors can help you improve your comprehension and conversation skills and can actually make you better at your first language as well. Pretty cool. So those are 5 ways that learning a second language benefits you. We're going to take a quick song break. We're going to listen to Dream Lover by Bobby Darin, and then we'll talk about some more benefits of second languages. Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot. You just heard Dream Lover by Bobby Darin. And I don't think this is on the list, but romance is another benefit of learning a second language, possibly. You could find your dream lover in another country, for sure. But getting back to the daily list, some reasons and some benefits of learning a second language. Number 6 on the list is something I need desperate help with. Building multitasking skills. I have zero multitasking skills. And I guess a lot of people might have this issue as well. However, according to research, this doesn't apply to bilingual people. They are some of the most experienced when it comes to multitasking because their brain has been practicing and switching from one language to the other daily. And when the brain gets used to this demanding job, it isn't difficult to use this skill in other tasks as well. Man, I don't know. Okay, so this is why I always admire, like, when I see translators, for example, at the International Film Festival, who have to translate on the spot what one person is saying to another language. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what they're doing, right? That is multitasking, isn't it? A study done by the National Institutes of Health concluded that bilinguals switch tasks faster than monolinguals. They found that bilingual children in their research responded quite well to their multiple computer tasks in comparison to their monolingual participants in the study. I guess I can see that, right? And I'll probably witness that with my children. I'm sure they'll be running circles around me in all kinds of tasks at home soon enough. But other research also found that bilinguals demonstrate more efficient brain functions than non-bilinguals, and a bilingual person's brain maintains better task switching even as they get older. Is it too late for me then? I don't know. I don't think so. Keep at it, right? Start now anyway. Even if you'd never learned another language before, it's never too late to start, I think. Number 7, another great reason why it's never too late to start. Learning a second language slows down cognitive decline. So if you still haven't started and needed another incentive to start learning a new language, there you go. Learning a language may reduce your chances of getting early onset cognitive impairments. More than 16 million people in the United States live with cognitive impairments, whether that is Alzheimer's, dementia, or any other disorder. The latest study on the effect of bilingualism and cognitive aging found that people who spoke more than one language, regardless of gender, ethnicity, and occupation, experienced the onset of cognitive decline 4.5 years later than the ones who spoke only one. That's a pretty good number, 4.5 years, right? So while knowing a second language is not exactly going to make you young again, it will definitely help keep your brain younger. Number 8, learning a second language improves your memory. The brain is compared to muscles a lot because it is a muscle, basically, right? Is it not? And the more exercise you do, the more it gets stronger, the larger it gets. And as we talked about before, this applies to the brain too. Basically, the reason is the more you challenge it, the more the brain expands, and then that leads to better functioning as well. So learning a language is basically a form of exercise for the brain. First, you have to understand and then later recall a variety of things. That could include grammar, that it could include vocabulary. All of this strengthens the memory muscle. And that's why people who know more than one language are more likely to retain information. For example, if you're learning another language, you're probably also good at remembering lists, names, cell phone numbers, and directions, especially compared to speakers of only one language. I mean, maybe this is why I have a hard time with names. Maybe I should throw another language into the mix. If you don't believe it, there's actual evidence that learning vocabulary boosts memory. Actual evidence. So give it a try. Even if it's just like learning vocabulary words for fun. You know, there's little game apps, gamification of language learning. You can do it that way as well. You know, you don't have to go out and be a perfectly fluent, efficient second language speaker yet. You can just do it for fun at a slow kind of, on your own approach. And that should help with muscle memory as well, right? Or the memory of the muscle. Both, I guess. Last, number 9 on the list. Learning a second language boosts your self-esteem. I'm going to say 100%. A lot of times when you show people that you can speak another language, even if you're not trying to show off, they will be impressed. And they will quite often say so. And it just makes you feel nice to kind of be recognized for having some kind of skill or talent, right? And especially if you're not comfortable being in the spotlight and if you're not comfortable making mistakes in a foreign language, this will kind of force you to work through that because you'll have to break out of your shell if you're going to use a foreign language, and you're going to have to get over the idea of making mistakes and looking foolish. Nobody thinks you're foolish. First of all, they're impressed that you're taking that effort or making that effort to learn another language, and especially when it's their language, they're really appreciative of it as well. So it's really amazing to get the kind of confidence that you feel when you're talking to a native speaker in their own language, and that will definitely help your self-esteem. Becoming proficient in a language is like mastering any other skill. Once you're kind of, hop up in the higher level, you'll feel confident and you'll feel good about yourself. So there are a lot of benefits to learning another language. There are much more, I'm sure there are, you could do a lot of research out there and find a lot more reasons, but I think those are 9 very good reasons to learn a second language, and that's going to do it for today's Daily List. We're going to take a quick song break. We're going to listen to Water Under the Bridge by Adele, and we'll be back with Tomorrow Today. You're listening to the 2 p.m. Reboot, and that song was Water Under the Bridge by Adele. And now it is time for Tomorrow Today. We do this every Tuesday. We talk about advancements in a variety of fields to kind of get a glimpse into the future. And this one is related to languages. No surprise, right? Because we've been talking about languages a lot today. And one of the rather larger companies in the world has a translation service where they've added now 110 new languages to the service. And the idea is they're trying to expand their reach and diversity through that. And this is probably something we might not see the effects right away, but I assume this will definitely make access, information access, a lot easier for a lot of different communities around the world. So what am I talking about here? So, well, this translation service has added 110 new languages to its platform, and this recent update, which is the most extensive expansion yet, now covers nearly a tenth of the world's population. So I guess there's still a lot to go, but, you know, that's a large segment of the population if we're thinking globally. Basically, a lot of this might be due to the advancements in artificial intelligence. They use something called the Palm 2 language model. And the translation service can now learn closely related languages even more efficiently. So it makes me wonder if languages are not very closely related, you know, is that still going to be very difficult? That's a good question. But I assume all of these kind of bridges will be made shorter, right? The gaps will be closed eventually. According to one software engineer by the name of Isaac Caswell, he highlighted that the latest additions include languages close to Hindi, such as Awadhi and Marwadi, and French Creoles like Seychelles Creole and Mauritian Creole. Yes, I'm sure I butchered that. Excusez-moi. Other notable additions are Afar, Cantonese, and Tamazight, which is also in parentheses Amazigh. So these are language I am completely unfamiliar with. So even in this way, by bringing these into the news, they're bringing exposure to languages, which a lot of cases, the more I read about language research, a lot of languages these days are endangered because of the overuse of many international languages, such as English, where people just kind of don't even need to learn their native languages in many cases, and the languages kind of die out. So hopefully this will kind of prevent that. These additions of these specific languages and others represent over 614 million people. That's about 8% of the global population. And a significant portion of these languages are specifically from Africa, and this marks the largest expansion of African languages on the translation service to date. So this will be, like I said, I think a great benefit for a lot of communities as far as like information access goes. And they say their language models for this company actually create hybrid versions of languages with regional varieties and dialects, and they prioritize the most commonly used version. So it's not like it's going to cover every single dialect within a region. I guess that would be an ongoing task. That will be things they probably add over time. An instance of this would be Romani, which has many dialects throughout the region of Europe. Google's models produce text close to what they call Southern Vlax Romani, but also mix in elements from other dialects like Northern Vlax and Balkan Romani. So this is a group of people who are kind of dispersed throughout the European region, and they have dialects for particular regions. So Google the company is trying to go focus on the most common dialects, but also mix in the lesser known dialects as well. So if we break down the numbers, what we're looking at here, the region of Africa, they covered multiple African languages, and this is a significant portion of the population of the African region. As far as Asia concerned, the main languages that they added are Awadhi and Marwadi, which covers millions of people. Europe, they focused on the Romani dialects, and that covers numerous countries because this is a group of people who live throughout Europe, and like as I said, they have specific dialects to particular countries and even regions within those countries. So there's a lot of dialects that it includes. And globally, this is 110 languages total. And as I said before, this covers about 614 million people. Pretty impressive. In 2022, the service also added 24 languages using what they called zero-shot machine translation. And that's basically, the idea is a model translates into another language without seeing an example. The company at that time also introduced the 1,000 Languages Initiative to support the world's most spoken languages. And as technology advances, this company plans to support even more language varieties and spelling conventions over time. That's another thing to think about. You might have one specific language that has a variety of spellings depending on where it is spoken in the world. For example, English. There are a lot of practical applications for this. You can use this service online. You can use it on mobile apps. And like a lot of tech companies, they're leveraging AI to enhance all the offerings. Basically, they're incorporating AI into platforms like the mail services, the search engines, the messaging services, and they've made AI the primary focus of its I/O event in May. And a lot of the competitors have similarly been weaving AI into their products and services. One big American service with a fruit logo has recently unveiled a suite of AI intelligence updates for its phones that I'm sure a lot of people will be benefiting from, hopefully not being annoyed by. That's the idea, right? So the bottom line is, as AI continues to evolve, it's clear that companies like these tech companies are at the forefront of integrating technology into everyday tools that hopefully more of us can use, because there definitely is some inequality out there as far as who has the access to information the most easily. So by adding these 110 new languages, this kind of underscores this company's commitment to inclusivity and innovation at the same time. With AI advancements, the platform is not only enhancing its capabilities, but also trying to make strides in connecting the global population. Because a lot of times this global population, we all need the same kind of access in order to have access to jobs, to information, to education. And, it might even translate, no pun intended, to benefits for travel, business, personal communication. There's a lot of ways that we probably won't even imagine how this will be used by people all over the world. So kind of cool to see that large companies are including more of the population of the world into their tech services. Very interesting. So that was going to do it for Tomorrow Today. We're going to take a quick song break. We're going to listen to This Town by Neil Horan, and then we'll be back with our perfect playlist. Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot. You just heard by Niall Horan, This Town. And now it is time for our perfect playlist. We do this every day, Monday through Friday. We give you a theme every week, and we play songs we think will make a perfect playlist for you throughout the week. And this week, we've been focusing on songs about new beginnings or songs about beginning again. And our first song today is Dance Again. There you go. You get the word again right in there. This is by Selena Gomez. And this is a return to dancing following hiatus is a metaphor for starting over in Selena Gomez's 2020 electropop song that you're about to hear. So in other words, I guess, it means like get back to having fun, I think. The song describes a narrator who is meeting challenges again without drama, taking control of her life. Her body is in sync with the rhythm of life, and she's relishing her freedom, explaining that happiness ain't something you sit back and you wait for. So yeah, that's the idea. You know, at some point in your life, you maybe stop dancing, right? And you're like, things are not fun. Dance again. Start anew. Our second song is I Can See Clearly Now by Jimmy Cliff. And this is a pretty famous song. I think you might have heard it before in the film Cool Runnings, perhaps. The narrator in this song is expecting bright new beginnings filled with blue skies, sunshine, and rainbows because the obstacles and hardships of yesterday are finally gone. A very positive song. The dark clouds have parted, and showers are but a recent memory. The reggae-infused hit version of this song climbed to the top of the charts and inspired listeners about the possibility of new tomorrows. And those are going to be our two songs for today's perfect playlist. First up, Dance Again by Selena Gomez, followed by I Can See Clearly Now by Jimmy Cliff.
Happiness ain't
Welcome back to the 2 p.m. reboot. You just heard I Can See Clearly Now by Jimmy Cliff, and before that was Dance Again by Selena Gomez, and those were our two songs for today's perfect playlist, songs about beginning it again. And thank you so much for all the messages. I'm sorry I didn't get to all of them, but there's a couple I wanted to share before we go. Lee Kelly Nim saying he wants to learn, we were talking about languages, and if you had the superpower to suddenly be good at one language, what would you pick? Lee Kelly Nim says ASL, which is, I believe, American Sign Language. And he says, I would love to be able to talk with deaf people because he met a lot of deaf kids and speech impaired people growing up. So we'd like to be able to kind of use that to communicate. And that's a great reason to learn any language because there are people you want to communicate with. 3258 Nim, kind of a similar idea. Not wanting to learn sign language, but wanting to learn Italian. 3258 Nim says, I've been to Italy twice, and the times there were like dreams. I want to go to Tuscany again and stay there for about half a year. I'd like to be friends with a lot of local people there. Yeah, again, wanting to communicate with a specific group of people. If you go to Italy and try to speak Italian, I'm sure they would love that. They would say, bellissimo, or something. I don't know what they would say exactly, but something. And also, interesting comment from Jogum Tong Nim, who says, instead of multitasking abilities, I guess I've developed multiple personalities from learning another language. And there's something to that. I have read that speaking another language kind of allows you to develop another personality. When you use that language, you feel a little different. So very cool. Thank you so much for all the messages today. Of course, we'll be back at 2:05 p.m. tomorrow. We're going to play one more song for you, I Can't Help Myself by the Four Tops. Have a great day, everybody, and stay tuned for Your Busan.